Welcome to Sherobeyour podcast, where we will discover that we can be our own heroes in our lives and that we don't have to always look outside for a mentor and for heroing somebody else. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do, but I'm saying that sometimes it might be better to realize that you've been your own hero in your life because sometimes it's hard to find somebody else who can fulfill that role. And it's also can be very uplifting for you to realize, oh, I've been able to be a hero for myself by letting this unfortunate traumatic event that I went through, whether it was sexual abuse or losing a loved one or losing a friend or having a relationship end or losing your job, that you were able to rise above that incident and be able to strengthen you and to destroy you with your companion. And, you know, speaking from personal experience, I've definitely have had some of those experiences in my life. And I have chosen to let them strengthen me. And yes, there have been times where they've broken me down and made it harder for me to live because I've been depressed or I've been more anxious or nervous because of them. But ultimately, I didn't let myself as well in that state of being broken down for a very long time. I got myself back up by going to therapy and by surrounding myself with very supportive friends and family and those that were able to help me. I've guided me through that journey. And so today's episode will be about the general view of personal things that I've gone through that I consider I've been a hero in my life. And then the next episode will be going into more detail of some of those events and breaking them down into how they have affected and changed my life, and how they have impacted me more today than how they impacted me when I first disclosed about them and when I was first healing from them. Healing was an ongoing process. It doesn't end, unfortunately. And I think that's actually definitely in disguise because in order to heal and let go of something completely, you're going to be working on your entire life. And that's something definitely hard. Oh, and also I will want to interview others who have gone through similar experiences, like I mentioned in the beginning of this introduction. So please email me if you want to be interviewed, and you can go into your experience as much as you are comfortable with, and being able to share what you're comfortable with. Because I know sometimes things can be really personal and it can be hard to open up about them. So I will leave my email in the podcast description for you if you are interested. Afternoon, depending on where you're listening from, at a different time. Excuse me. So today's episode will be about what I have learned from online and in-person dating. And we will be referencing two articles. So have you ever been ghosted, treated like garbage by guys, or learned a lesson the hard way? Have you ever been on a date with a guy or a girl that you knew you had no connection or chemistry with even before it was over? How many dates did it take you to learn what you wanted and didn't want in a relationship? And this is just based on my experience, as it always is with my episodes. So if you haven't had the same experience, then it might not be helpful. But if you know somebody who has, it could help them out, or it could help you, learn some things to watch out for or look for. And I'm not saying all guys are going to be like the ones that I interacted with, but I wanted to give you some information on the ones that kind of have gone sideways for me. So here we go. I've been ghosted by many guys. I have lost count of these times, of how many times, but I've learned to let go quickly when this happens so that I don't dwell in the past and get hurt too much by it. I've been on a few dates that I knew there wouldn't be another one after that first one because there was no connection or chemistry. It took me about 10 months of being in a toxic relationship with my ex to learn what I didn't want and what I did want in a romantic relationship. It also took me a year of letting go of what I had with my ex to learn those things. Uh, I knew I didn't want to, I know I didn't want someone that would change me, my thinking, and my values and turn my life upside down. I don't want one that destroys and breaks my trust in my family relationships either. I also don't want one that creates tunnel vision because of being blinded by love, lust, and sex. I also don't want someone that doesn't like their job, doesn't have a social life, and also is too protective of me. I also don't want someone that shares my personal life experiences with their family and their friends without my permission. I don't want one that minimizes my NLD, sexual abuse, and family traumas and chronic migraines. So, what do I want then? I want one that I can trust with anything and everything that I need and want to share with them. I would like to have deep conversations with them about my past, present, and future, if they're open to that. I want one that I can do fun things with and make happy memories with them. Him. I want to make memories that I'll never forget. I also want to share my life experiences from my past with him. I do want one that also allows me to have guy friends and see them without being jealous. I want to be able to see my girlfriends too. I also want a guy that treats me right and how I deserve to be treated. I don't need over a constant overprotective one. I can take care of myself pretty damn well. I also want a guy that lets me do things by myself if I need and want to. I also want him to like his job because then we are having fun together and we don't feel like we are working a day in our lives. I also want I also have learned that I need to be more patient with people responding to the text messages or messages in the app that I send to them. This was recently an issue because I accidentally overwhelmed a guy with too many texts. He felt like he was neglecting me because he wasn't responding quickly. I didn't feel that was true because I knew he was working. He felt like this would be true with whomever he dates and that he couldn't be a good date. So I told him maybe we shouldn't date anymore. I regret saying that. I tried to remedy it by apologizing to him. I left a voicemail for him saying that I was being defensive because I didn't want to get hurt. I was willing to hear him out and listen to what he was really trying to say. I was willing to let him call me or meet me in person to talk. But he never responded to it, not even by text. This hurt because I guess I was right. Enough about me, let's explore what others have learned from dating. The first article is titled Online Dating and Neurodiversity by Leslie A. Sickles, um, who is a licensed social worker on the spectrum with Spectrum Services. Quote, much has been written about the basic safety and considerations of online dating, yet little research has been conducted to understand the nuanced difficulties that may be presented for individuals on the autism spectrum who date online. A survey by Roth and Gills in 2015 found that most commonly reported online dating concern for individuals on the spectrum was related to safety. Safety associated with online dating typically refers to prescribed guidelines such as meet in public place and do not disclose personal information. But there are additional difficulties that may be present for neurodiverse individuals. These are more specific safety concerns may result from lack of experience in relationships, difficulty understanding social conversations, or perpetuating negative social experiences. Technology and written communication make connecting online increasingly accessible and appealing, and more neurodiverse individuals turn to online dating to form romantic connections. While this may facilitate easier opportunities for initial conversation or connection, it may also pose specific risks and dangers. This article aims to offer additional information about the landscape of online dating for individuals on the spectrum and to better support those who wish to successfully and safely connect online. End quote. So I definitely can relate to that because whenever I am texting somebody or messaging them in any dating app or with my phone number, it's hard for me to read the tone of the conversation. And maybe you have this too, even if you're neurotypical. And it's hard for me to know they're sarcastic unless they do a LOL emoji or winky face or a smiley face, something obvious that gives me a sign. So usually I'm okay with telling a guy that, and I'm okay with even doing this even before we meet, that I sometimes don't get sarcasm, sometimes I don't read social cues very well, and sometimes I might be offensive or defensive because of my past and my experiences I've had with being taken advantage of by guys. And I do that because I kind of want to see how they respond to those things because those are personal to me and that's going to come up with any guy. And if they respond well, then I'm willing to meet them in person. But if they don't, then that's not going to work out because it's like I don't even need to go any further than that because then I know that they might not be very understanding about some of the challenges that I have, and some of the things that I still am working through. And I do need somebody who is understanding and who is able to help me if they're willing to with those challenges, or at least support me with them if they don't feel like they can help me. Because when you're when you're dating somebody who could be a potential partner, you want a guy or a girl who will be able to, be in a two-sided relationship where there's some give and take of what you help them with and what they help you with and what they support you with and, again, what you support them with. And there's got to be more than just, doing fun things together and learning about each other and having things in common. Excuse me. You want somebody, like I said earlier, that you are going to make memories with, that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. And that you can pass time with without really realizing how much time passed. And being able to really enjoy your time with them and share your life with them and have them do the same things as well. And it's hard to find that, believe me, and I haven't found it yet, but I'm not going to give up because I know that there's a guy out there for me that can do that. So the second article is titled Dating for Neurodiverse Adults series, Dating on the Autism Spectrum, Why Knowing Yourself is Essential to Relationships, by Dr. Tasha Oswald. And this was written earlier this year in September. Okay, quote. Before you start looking for a relationship with someone else, it's important that you spend some time turning inward. This means learning more about yourself. This can be a difficult and daunting task for many. One of the reasons you may be looking for a relationship is because it's hard for you to spend time by yourself. But knowing yourself and having respect for yourself is essential to our well being and the stability of our relationships with others. Close quote. So I definitely think that's a good recommendation because I know for me, whenever I was going through really personal things like my trauma and the aftermath of that in high school and in college, I didn't date. And I didn't do that because I was so, first of all, I was so focused on letting go of what happened and healing from it that I didn't trust guys for a while. And I still have trust issues with around guys, but for a long time, I didn't think I could ever trust guys again outside of my family and my trusted friends who are guys. And excuse me, it took me a while to realize um, I could, and I think that was one good thing that came out of my relationship with my ex. I was able to feel like I could trust him for most of the relationship, not all of it, but for some part of it. And that helped me feel better about being able to trust men that I want to maybe date and or just have a conversation with and try to be friends. Um, so what I'm trying to say is that if you're going through a stressful personal time, maybe reconsider dating because if you feel like you don't have enough time to do it because of what you're going through, then you probably don't want to do it. Even if the other person is okay with dating you while you're going through that, that might not be such a good thing for yourself and for them because you might burden them too much with your personal things and might not be able to learn um, enough about them because you're more focused on yourself. And you want to be able to connect with them. And yes, you do want to be able to work through hard things with them, but you want to do that after you know them really well, like you would a best friend or somebody in your family um, that you trust and that you love, that you're already connected with. So, yeah, try to think about that piece. And one of the things that one of my friends suggested that I think was a good thing to do is when you're dating a guy, whether you met him in a dating app, this works for girls too, um, or if you met them in person, guy or girl, and then you meet them in person for the first time on a date. After the date with the guy or the girl, write down how they made you feel. Because if they were easy to talk to and you felt comfortable talking to them about um, whatever your conversation was, and you were actually open to talking about deeper things, if it went that way or if they wanted to, then I would say it's worth another date. And if you felt like there was a connection and that you both had fun and you both felt like you were interested in the conversation and that it was going both ways, it wasn't too one sided for them or for you, and that you didn't, have to look at your phone while you were with them, and they didn't have to do that either. Because if you do that, usually that means that they're not too interested in you or in the conversation, or both. And also, like if when you come back from using the bathroom or something, that they completely put their phone right away. I mean, they put it away because if they do that, then it means that they want to keep getting to know you better. Um, if they keep it out and they don't explain why they have it out, like if maybe they're responding to, I don't know, if they're looking at the time, that's okay. Or if they're responding to a text from somebody, other than, I would say, family, I would watch that because it's like, hello, I'm right here with you. You can take your time to respond to text after the date, um, or you can do it when you're in the bathroom, not when I'm right here in front of you. So that was just kind of a sidebar. But yeah, the main things that I want you to keep in mind are dating when you're going through personal and stressful experiences, maybe not dating when you're in that situation. And then what you do and don't want in a relationship, and then how you also want to feel in a relationship. Because all those things really, I think, will matter. And also, what do you want to be able to look back on when you've been with that one guy or girl for a while and be like, oh, what did we do together? Did I enjoy those things? And not the physical things, but the memories that you have from doing those things with them are important. And what you learn about them from those experiences. Um, so, yeah, I hope this episode helps you gain some insight on dating and on the aspect of online dating and in-person dating. Um, and that you can share it with a friend who's neurotypical or neurodivergent, and maybe it helps them out. I mean, this does apply to neurotypicals as well, not just neurodivergence. So it can go both ways. All right, I'll talk to you next week. And by that point, you'll already have had Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving. I hope you were able to get some insight and some lessons and messages out of this first episode of Sherobeyour. And I hope that you will be able to use it to help you guide yourself through whatever you might be going through, whether it's challenging for you or maybe you know somebody else who's going through something that's challenging for them, and be able to help them be there and help you yourself be there. I look forward to chatting with you next Saturday again about how you can be your own hero.